My name is Carlos Rodriguez, also known as DJ Lasercat, and welcome to another Bomb Shelter session brought to you by KCSC and the associated students. With me today is one of Chico's probably most well-known just singer-songwriters in general, and in my opinion, and in my personal favorite singer-songwriter as well, Pat Hall.
Thanks for having me.
I'm really excited for this. I mean, apparently the station's been trying to get you for a while, and it's just really cool to finally like have you here and just talk music and talk about your musical upbringing and just things like that.
Yeah, let's talk.
So I guess the most interesting thing to me is like you have so many articles written about you. I mean, Nerdist has written about you. You're known in like Southern California up to Seattle and things like that. And I mean, for a local artist, having 1,500 likes is also a really big achievement. And how do you like almost kind of use all of that attention that you have been getting from like Nerdist and everything else and kind of push that to like promote your brand, I guess?
That's a great question. I don't really use it very much, only because that's not my hat I should wear. And I do this peripheral surface level stuff where I just say, hey, here's this article, read it if you'd like. And as far as creative avenues to advertise what I do, I could probably do more, but I just have so many other things I'm interested in than branding myself. I think it's important, and I love to do it. I love to get good pictures of myself. I love having these articles written that can synthesize my work for people, but I don't necessarily push it, and it's not because I don't want to. It's just that I don't have time necessarily, and I don't really know how. Okay.
So I guess the other thing too is you said that it's not really your hat to wear, and you're more interested in other things. So like, what is there? Like, obviously there's a songwriting portion and this actual performance portion, but what else is there?
Musically? Well,
or just life in general as well.
I mean, I think when you are doing everything yourself, meaning you're not represented by a label, the whole idea of recording a record is you are funding it. You are collaborating with the musicians. You are getting the studio time. You are doing the actual recording. You are duplicating the material, and a lot of that process I like from start to finish, creating a song to recording it. And so that's what I mean by I'm interested in other things, is the performance aspect, the getting the product ready to give to people. But in terms of spreading the word, I'm less it doesn't grab me as something that I want to learn. I'm not going to get a book about how to brand myself, but I will be always interested in honing my craft, honing my performance, and getting into the studio and forming a good studio product from start to finish.
No, I mean, I can honestly really respect that as a process, because it does seem like a lot of local artists do focus a lot on just like the branding process as a whole. And for you, it seems that you're really just getting the meat of it, of just like, I want to have a good product and not so much, oh, I want to have this like image that's very easy to sell or very like easy to get out there. And I really enjoy your lyricism. I've listened to so much of your music over the past couple years, and it was actually kind of weird for me, like my first day at Chico State, seeing you as a transfer student, being like, hey, I think I've seen this person before, and then finding out that you actually play music and stuff was super like, whoa, okay, what's going on here? And someone I pass by every single day has like a really cool music career going on for themselves, all this stuff. But lyrically, I feel like you are just phenomenal. The narratives you're giving, the metaphors and everything along those lines are great. I guess the one thing is, where do you find a lot of this inspiration for it?
The lyrical inspiration? Recently especially is impermanence, is just this idea of everything's in flux, everything changes, everything dies, and everything's reborn. We're part of this cycle, and practicing detachment and loving through detachment. And I'm interested in that. It's a heavy thing. It's got depth, and there's so many colors and ways to discuss it. And that's a lot of what I explore, is those sorts of inevitabilities, and looking at that as the ultimate truth, is that we can't hold on to anything.
So I guess like what I find interesting, because I have noticed that theme a lot, and obviously there's like the themes that most people write about, which are like love, heartache, loss, things like that, happiness. But the permanent stuff has been really interesting for me as of late, because I don't know, like just because I'm like only 22 right now, like it's like, oh wow, you already start thinking like, wow, permanence, that's such a weird concept to grasp, but like almost kind of recording and putting your music out there is almost a way to kind of counteract permanence as well. So like how exactly like do you like balance that out, I guess?
Reconcile that?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if there needs to be any reconciling of it. It's just, it's not just about detachment, it's about control and various neuroses that I see in myself of wanting to control my environment, the people that I love, and practicing stepping away from that. And I don't think when I record or give someone something, I'm looking at it as, oh, I'm so glad you have this forever. It's just a way, it's just another message that will also perish. Yeah. So it's just it's my way in this short time here to give what I consider to be my gift to people, and that's really it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that like one of the big things you really enjoy about doing the music stuff is the performance aspect of it. And I had the pleasure of watching you at Abbey Road not that long ago, and I, came up to you, said how great you did and stuff like that. But how was that feeling? Was that one of the bigger crowds you've ever played for?
Yeah, that I've done the Laxon show before. You're stepping into someone else's shoes. Paul McCartney wrote that song. So there is this blend of real enjoyment of making it your own and performing that, but also knowing that you are truly a vessel for people to want to hear the song that they know and love, right? So the first line, someone hears Blackbird singing in the dead of night, it's this immediate nostalgia, and it's cool to give that. It's a different feeling though than expressing something where you've created yourself.
So I guess what I find interesting then is like, how does performing somebody else's song like Blackbird versus your own stuff at Argus, like I just saw you last week, how does that atmosphere change for you? Like going from such a big auditorium theater room to like just a small like bar in Chico? Yeah,
it's incredibly different. Well, one is that I'm only playing one song at Abbey Road. I mean, I do not like just playing one song because I really thrive performance-wise off of the energy of the room, and it's really hard in 3 minutes to ride the energy in a room in one song. So I much prefer, that was a 2-hour set, and I love that. I love those long sets and being able to ride that roller coaster and the push and pull of the audience. So I much prefer playing longer sets than just doing one-off kind of.
Yeah, just like, oh hi, I played Blackbird. What's up?
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No, I. It seems that like a lot of local artists really do prefer just kind of like the endurance run, I guess. So like, let's just like play 2 hours straight, do our entire set list, play some covers here and there. Yeah. And do you think that like, for you personally, wanting to do the endurance runs more or less, is it more of like almost like a testament to like you musically, because you have so many albums out for like someone who is a local artist, who most of them put like 1 or 2. Yeah. You have a pretty decent amount. And do you ever feel that like, because you have such a wide like music catalog, that you don't know what songs to play? Or do you always like feel like, oh, maybe I should play with this song this time? Or is it always just like playing the room and feeling like, oh, the crowd is really feeling this kind of song, so maybe I should go for that? Yeah,
I guess I should be clear. I do not like doing the endurance sets if it's just me.
Okay.
Playing with a band to play 2 hours is great because the dynamics are so varied. I get incredibly bored with myself if I'm just there with a guitar, because there's only so much I can play with. I like the challenge, but after a half hour, I'm kind of seeing myself out there, like, just hang it up. Like, there's no more that you can do. So after a half hour by myself, I'm kind of done. But with the band, I can absolutely do these endurance sets because of just the color that the band adds. So yeah, when I do solo sets and it's longer, I find myself dipping into older songs, like you're saying, with a wider catalog, and I don't necessarily like that. Sometimes I'll hit an older song and it revives it. Most of the time, it has really low energy because it's just not as vital now.
And I've actually noticed that too with the way that your albums have gone. So as I was going through your discography, like it goes from obviously, you know, singer-songwriter, just you and your guitar playing, singing, and now you're moving more towards like having a full band, and all the Origami Sessions kind of goes back to being by yourself and stuff like that. But I can see that growth where you want to go, where like you are enjoying the full band setting more. And do you feel that the full band setting is where you ultimately want to end up as a musician?
Yeah, I love good drums. I met a drummer in town, and his name's Sean Rayside, and he is a pocket drummer. He's incredible. And that, in my heart, I'm a drummer. Like I feel, and that's kind of how the percussive style. I play guitar too. And so once that happened, because it took a while, and there's a couple drummers I played with, and a couple drummers that I play with in Santa Cruz and in Portland too, and they're great as well. And without good drums, I don't feel energized by the band. So once that happened, it was revitalizing for me to really step into the more full band, high energy stuff, and that shaped a lot of my songwriting. So new songs are coming out that are fitting to what Sean can do on the kit.
And I've noticed that too. You've gone a lot from like a very somber down tempo style to like a bit more like rocking, a bit more up tempo recently with the full band, and it's really been interesting to just kind of like see how you meeting people has kind of influenced the way you've been writing. And you mentioned your percussive guitar playing, and that's one of the first things I noticed when I started listening to you. Like what was so unique about you was that you were almost making a beat with your guitar, as opposed to a lot of people who are playing like chords or they're strumming or something. And how did that style come about? Because you did say you've always like been a drummer at heart, but like how did you transfer that to your guitar playing?
Yeah, I've become a survivalist. I don't have a lot of money. I don't have a lot of guitars. I've only just had really cheap acoustic guitars, and it was really boring. It was like it's like a kid in a room with a couple toys, and you're gonna figure out how to have fun with these limitations. And I think having those limitations with just one instrument, not getting a loop pedal, not having enough money to get all this stuff, was like, all right, well, here's what you have. Figure out how to make it interesting. And that was the challenge, is just growing with an acoustic guitar. And it can get, I think with an acoustic guitar, especially a steel string, the dynamic and the colors can really fall flat after just like playing chordal progressions and strumming them. You're just like, okay.
Like I've heard this before. It's like I've heard this song 5 times already. I get it.
Yeah. And it might be really fitting for certain styles of writing, but I kept on challenging myself with the things that I had, and I think the percussive finger picking stuff was adding what I was looking for in terms of not being bored with myself.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, that's really cool. And I guess that's just like a testament to like, just because you don't have the money to like go and like buy a Taylor or Martin, you can just get what you need just out of just like knowing your style of play.
It's like the kid in Little League that has that $800 bat, and he shows up and he looks great, but he can't hit the ball. You're like, and then he won't share the bat with you either.
And then you're just
like, and then there's the guy that comes up with the crap bat,
Yeah.
and he knows how to play. You hone your craft with what you have.
Yeah.
It's not about what kind of gear you like. The gear talk. Oh my god, it drives me crazy. After a show, like what kind of
what kind of loop pedal do you have? Oh yeah. No, I got that one on sale recently.
Yeah.
What kind of how many watts is your orange? Oh yeah, no.
Yeah, let me detail my hypocrisy too. It's like I record an album.
Yeah.
Recording an album takes an incredible amount of awesome gear.
Yeah.
It's just personally when in the music making, I don't get giddy over gear and that kind of thing. So.
No, I mean it's not necessarily like for everyone. I mean there's a reason why we have engineers and we have musicians.
For sure, specialized roles.
So I guess what I want to ask now is like, how do you balance essentially your music and like the non-music life, because you are a part-time professor as well,
right?
And like you just mentioned earlier, you're also a dad. Like, how do you balance that part of your life?
Well, it's kind of a sink or swim thing, and in my opinion, when you're forced with all of these things to balance, you can take one or two roads. That's what it seems like to me, and it makes me healthier because I know I have so much to do. It's like I gotta get sleep, I gotta eat right, I gotta take care of myself. And if I have one night where I don't and I stay up late, then the whole it's just so tender. It's so tender. And so I don't allow myself a lot of freedoms, I guess, that the average late 20, early 30-year-old might relish in. And I don't. I have nights where I can let loose, and those are usually my shows, though.
Yeah.
But other than that, the way that I balance is I live incredibly simply, you know, and by doing that, I'm able to be present wherever I am, whether that's being with my child or being with the students or being with my music. And if I overcrowd myself with stuff, I start to get muddy, and I'm not able to be present.
Yeah.
And I can feel it right away. It's like, all right, I've said yes to too many things. It's time to simplify.
Okay. No,
Yeah.
I can really respect that.
Yeah.
Knowing your limits is, I think, something that a lot of us can actually learn.
Yeah, or just knowing what to say no to, what doesn't serve you.
Yeah. So, what songs are you going to be performing for us today?
I was thinking about doing My Flame. I was thinking about doing a song called Paradise. And then I was going to do Graceland by Paul Simon.
Oh, okay. I love that song.
Yeah.
So that's pretty rad.
I've been listening to that record a lot recently, so it's pretty fresh.
Okay. And do you have anything you want to plug? Any albums, any social media, things like that?
Well, the vinyl release is the 18th. I don't know if this is coming out before then.
Probably not, but you still might want to mention that you have a vinyl release. Yeah.
Yeah, the vinyl release is on Saturday, March 18th at the Women's Club.
Oh, right. And that's also a show, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's a performance. Evan Wolverton opens. We'll play a full set, probably close to 2-hour set again, and then a little dance party after. It's going to be a good time.
Right. And then obviously we can find your music on Bandcamp, right?
PatHallMusic.com. Yeah.
And then on Facebook, just Pat Hall Music.
There it is.
And any other social media?
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Pat.
Yeah, man. Thank you. Good talking with you.